monetization options have already continued to put more revenue in streamers' pockets, more than 20% more sub revenue share than would have. Yeah, more people are subscribed now, of course. Prime subs also get lost in the conversation whenever it comes to revenue share. Nobody thinks that. For Prime subs, we pay streamers the same amount they'd receive for a regular sub.
Ugh,
yeah, basically they're saying, please thank us for Prime subs. Twitch Prime, I do think, is probably one of the biggest value contributors to Twitch being appealing to people to stream on. This number varies by streamer size and location, but subscription revenue share is not the full picture of revenue share for streamers. That's true. Prime subs increase your effective revenue share by approximately 15%. So if you assume that subscriptions are about 60% of most people's revenue, or 50%, somewhere around there, especially
where the
since
fuck are all the wolves?
have more subs and less views, and it's like, you know, you have like a small community of people.
I want to complete all the
like
quests to Terricar Forest that I have on my thing, and then leave to go to Negron.
Have like 200 viewers and 200 subscribers. I think that there are way less streamers that have 20,000 viewers and 20,000 subscribers. So I think that it probably trends down towards like smaller streamers have a better ratio of viewers to subscribers. So I would say for a lot of those people, if it's 60% of their money, then like Prime subs are actually making up like whatever 15% of 60% would be. So that would be like 9%, somewhere around there. Or sorry, not 9%. It would be 9% on top of 15%. So it would be fucking 24%, 25% of their subs. It's a lot. Kai has 70k viewers, 70k subs. Yes, I know. Well, it's like it's like he's on a come up right now. Is he gonna have that in 6 months? Hopefully. I mean, I think Kai's great, right? But it's hard to maintain that for a long period of time. Like I've had that too, right? That's how I know. I'm saying that this was this Hulky and Asana, bro. Listen, I'm gonna ban you. Just because you got banned in Hassan's chat doesn't mean you're gonna come over here and ask for fucking sympathy. I don't give a fuck. What do you think? Do you think I care that you got banned in Hassan's chat? Who cares? Nobody cares. Rest in piss. You won't be missed. Anyway, listen. I think that with the Prime subs, it's a huge value add. It's a huge, huge value add. Lastly, we have to talk about the cost of our services. Delivering high definition, low latency, always available live video to nearly every corner of the world is expensive. Using the publish rates from Amazon Web Services interactive video services, which is essentially Twitch video. Live video costs for 100 CCU, that is concurrent users. I'm assuming a streamer who streams 200 hours a month is more than $1,000 a month. So let's actually do the math here. So let's see how much am I costing Twitch today? Let's find out. Give me a second. Let me open up a new tab, and we're gonna find this right now. And let me just pull this out of the way. Twitch tracker, and we're gonna pull up my second channel. I am ranked 65 on the website on my alt stream, and I have streamed a total of, let's see where we're at here, a total of how many hours this month. Let's go ahead and look at the month, and let's see here. Hours streamed, 256 hours this month on my alt stream. So let's see. So if the ratio is 100 CCU at 200 hours, then let's go ahead and take the 100 and multiply that 100. They're not gonna like this at all. Like, I think after this stream, I'm getting banned. I'm pretty sure I'm getting banned after this fucking stream. Average viewers, 12,000, okay? 12,700. So we will be multiplying this 1,000. So let's go ahead and use the calculator. This is going to be 1,000 times 127, because it is 127 times more viewers, right? Yes, it's 127 times more viewers. So that's, but this is not the final number, because I also am streaming a quarter more. So if you break this down into quarters, each quarter of about every 50 hours is somewhere around like 20. let's see here. Well, let's divide this by 4, okay? We'll divide this by 4. And so that's how much every 20 hours is, or sorry, every 50 hours a month you're streaming. But we're going to multiply it by 5 because I'm not streaming 200 hours. I am streaming 250. I am costing Twitch $158,000 this month. Please don't ban me, Dan. Because they're not running ads on this channel. They're not making any sub revenue. This channel's unmonetized completely. Man, I'm paying them an exposure. Yes, of course I am. Guys, I've had a really nice time here on Twitch. It's been really fun. We've enjoyed ourselves for quite a while. And I just want to say, guys, if anything happens to me, I really appreciate you guys watching for so long. And, you know, really appreciate you guys. All right? So let's go back over. We got to read the rest of this, okay? Let's see. Frankly, you don't have to think about it. Yeah. That's the numbers there. But to fully answer the question of why not 70-30, ignoring the high cost of delivering Twitch's service would mean to give you an incomplete answer. I also think that, like, one thing that YouTube did to reduce this problem on their end is that, like, if I were Twitch, what would I do if I was Twitch? I would probably make high definition and low latency only available for people that have, like, a lot of viewers. Like, that's honestly what I would do. Like, I wouldn't let small streamers be able to have it. Like, YouTube does the same thing. Yeah, they throttle quality options. They forcibly monetize or run ads on my stream? Of course they can. It's their website. They can do whatever they want. They can Photoshop a dick into my mouth if they want. It doesn't matter. Like, obviously, I could turn my head around, but I don't want that, right? But, like, they could do whatever they want. It's their website. Let's see here. What's next? When someone asks me why Twitch is the best place to make money as a streamer, my answer starts first and foremost with community. My first answer starts first and foremost with community. Community on Twitch is real and tangible. From chat memes to subscriber emotes to TwitchCon meetups, and yes, how streamers earn money. That's partially because of our work to equip you with the right tools, but it's primarily because streamers like you are putting yourselves out there, embracing what you're most passionate about, and building communities. We believe that we have the most compelling
community. God, it sounds so fucking fake.
Well, it actually
Discord.
sounds like there's less you can do, but yes, okay. The best Twitch is one that we build together. Thank you. That's good. And your feedback always helps us evolve in the right direction. As always, if you have any feedback, the best place to share is Twitch user voice. Thanks for your time, Dan Clancy. All right. So basically, everybody's fucking mad. So yeah, people are not happy about this. Let's see here. This is what Fwiz said about it. Fwiz, for context, used to be the head of YouTube gaming partnerships over at YouTube, obviously. Love Twitch, just about running YouTube gaming for almost 8 years. Twitch is where I first found my home as a streamer in 2010. Having said that, it's quite disheartening to take creator earnings in this fashion. I'm hopeful that they'll get this right long term. For non-ads revenue, regardless of size, the creator should be getting a disproportionate amount. That shouldn't even be up for debate. Creators drive disproportionate amounts of work to grow on, oops, looks like I got BC. Let's see here. On non-ads revenue, and they're going to be doing the legwork on most of these products, unlike selling ads against their content. 70-30 for every single dollar that Twitch creators should be the expected norm on non-monetized products. What is the revenue split that YouTube provides for memberships, which is like the equivalent of Twitch subscriptions? 70-30. So Twitch is actually saying, so they're objectively saying that our payment structure is worse than YouTube's. Okay, that is insane, man. Absolutely fucking insane. And understanding that Twitch needs to generate and grow revenue. The real focus should be increasing viewership across the platform to scale ad dollars. Info costs and growing revenue. I understand the pressure to grow revenue and maintain a positive P&L relative to info cost, infrastructure, P&L, like profit and loss. I'm certain that their infrastructure costs are significant. However, despite even an Amazon discount, the other issue is that Meaningfully growing live watch time and relative to VOD form is very hard to do. You need significant broadcast hours to do it, not a lot of great categories instead of gaming and IRL to expand. Hence, growing revenue becomes challenging. You're forced to monetize, change monetization, rev share, increase ads against live content. You don't have a lot of levers to pull to grow revenue because you aren't scaling watch time. That does make sense. The best way for Twitch to grow monetization would be to not be short-sighted and take advantage of their live dominance by adjusting rev share, but rather leverage that dominance to grow non-live gaming viewership on the platform. That's actually a big factor. Nobody watches VODs on Twitch. To help scale their ad business out. This would alleviate any unnecessary rev share changes and drive creators to other platforms. Wait, I do? Oh, you do watch VODs? Oh, okay, yeah, I know that some people watch VODs, but I think the majority of time, like, people watch VODs if it's like a big stream or some crazy shit is happening, right? Like, you're probably not going to watch the VOD for like every single stream for a certain streamer. That's generally the case, but I'm not sure. And also, like, what you have to keep in mind is all of the views that you see on, like, my VODs, for example, those views are compounded with my live views.
I accept donations in-game or IRL.
How many views my VODs get. Okay, I think I can pull up my analytics. I don't think there's any reason I can't. Let me see if I can pull this up and let you guys know. Okay, so stream summary. So we have 2 different frames of reference. We have the stream that I did. I did this stream 3 days ago. It has 275,000 views, right? We see that. It's very clear, very obvious. We all know it. So 275,000, and then this is my fucking dashboard here, and it shows that my live views were 238,000. So the total amount of views that I had from this outside of this was only 32,000, or sorry, be 37,000, because you know, 37 plus 38 would be 75. And so,
well, this thing apparently doesn't de-aggro ever.
37,000 were VOD views, which means that the vast majority of views were live views. Very few people watch VODs compared to how often they consume live content, and there is no VOD content that exists pretty much only on Twitch that is successful. There are not that many VOD Andes.
Here at Twitch, we believe in manipulating our creators into thinking that Twitch is the only place where you can be successful. We do this by giving everyone a false sense of hope with an easy path to affiliation so you can monetize quickly. This is, of course, to hook you in, so that way you want to spend the next 4 years of your life grinding for Twitch Partner, which is essentially just a check mark and provides no extra benefits from Twitch Affiliate. But remember, statistically speaking,
this right about here is whenever this video will actually get cut, and then it'll play 4 ads. And then you'll come back right about here.
While they're live.
Yeah, so that would actually be the Twitch experience. You've got to keep that in mind, guys. Let's actually watch it, though. This is funny.
From Twitch Affiliate. But remember, statistically speaking, the only way to make this possible is by actually growing on another platform and then using that platform to try to drive viewers over here for us. I mean, for you. And to add to this fantastic package, once you sign the Twitch Affiliate, you're now committed to this platform and this platform alone. And we essentially own your content and your soul. From there, we like to make sure you feel super comfortable in your ability to be a creator on this platform by giving you no opportunity to be a creator on this platform besides being live. Basically, here on Twitch, when you're not live, your channel's dead. But wait, there's more. Over the last 3 years, Twitch has proven time and time again that this is a community-driven platform, and we do this by not giving a fuck about the community. Because here at Twitch, we like playing hard to get. Feel like you're getting screwed here? That's okay, because you are. But we're a community, and that's all that matters. Plus, some of our viewers take advantage of this opportunity and get screwed while they're live.
Man, this is a great video. I love it. I put out a tweet today and I said this: let's cut the bullshit. Excessive ads are killing Twitch. You go to a stream and it says 1 of 6 ads played. You go to another tab and then come back and the video player's crashed. Like if you ever clicked off a stream because of too many ads. I'll be honest. The main thing that Twitch does that makes me go over to YouTube is whenever a streamer hits the 3-minute ad button. And the thing is, streamers make so much money hitting the 3-minute ad button, you should never go and say, oh, well, streamers have to, because, right. Twitch requires streamers in their contracts, for many partner contracts now, especially the higher end ones, to have a minimum amount of ad density. Now, what does ad density mean? Ad density means you're gonna have a certain amount of minutes of ads within every hour. So 3 minutes of ad density. I know Hassan has, does he have 1 minute, or Hassan has the very bare minimum. And I don't have, by the way, I don't have any fucking deal with Twitch. They wouldn't give me one because, you know, I think it's a little kind of about this, I don't think they like that. They don't like that. Not a fan. Twitch is like, oh, they want you to run them ads. Oh my God, you got to get them ads out. You got to do another ad. Oh, you just did an ad. Why don't you do another one? Oh, you're done with the ads? No, you're not. There's another one. Whoa, you clicked off the stream and you come back to it. Guess what? That's an ad. Oh, yep, there it is. It's like, this is the way that Twitch is now, right? Is that you open up a stream, you get hit with a pre-roll. You get done with a pre-roll, it's the waiting room for the stream or the starting soon screen. You know, they're playing some fucking DMCA-free music, or, you know, if they like to take risks, you know, they're playing something else. And then finally a streamer comes on and they talk a little bit about what they've been spending all their money on. And then after that, they you know, like we're gonna do an IRL stream at the beginning of the stream. Guys, it's gonna be, our sponsor today is HelloFresh. We're gonna be putting together a meal. This is a meal prep service. And if you use code BALD, you're able to get money off your HelloFresh. So while we're moving downstairs, we're gonna run 6 minutes of ads. So you get the 6 minutes of ads, and then after you're done with the 6 minutes of ads, then you have to watch the sponsored screen of them opening up the HelloFresh box and then eating all the food out of HelloFresh. After you finish up with that, they go ahead and get back onto the computer, but in the process of that, of course, you run 6 more minutes of ads because you're gonna have, obviously, it's been 2 hours and they're below their ad density requirement by their contract. And so this is while they're getting back over to the computer, and then finally they get back to their, after you get back to the computer, they're obviously, you know, drinking out of their, a G Fuel canister or something like that, some other sponsored drink that they have. By the way, code BALD for that one as well. And then after all of this too, we get into the second part of the stream, which is reacting to YouTube videos. React to a YouTube video for a couple of times. After you watch one long YouTube video that you, actually, we don't really watch it, right? You put it on, and then you get yourself dinner, and you eat dinner, because it's been a long day. That's where you got the HelloFresh for. So you're eating dinner while you do that. You're watching a YouTube video. Then after you finish the first YouTube video, look at the time. Guys, listen. You know what time it is. That's right. 6 minutes of ads. 6 minutes of ads go by again. Those 6 minutes of ads are done. Watch another YouTube video, make a couple of comments at it. You smile once even at the YouTube video. That YouTube video is quite longer. You do a 3-minute ad break this time just to be a little bit proactive, because, you know, you care about the community. You don't want people to feel like it's just all an ad. And also, speaking of that, our other sponsor for today is Raid Shadow Legends. And so we're going to be playing a little bit of Raid Shadow Legends today. And again, go ahead in the link below. This is the, please go ahead and use the affiliate code, get to level 10, and you're able to get 75 new dark crystals, and you need 76 to do a spin on the new character. So go ahead and do that right now, and if you get to level 10, I get $10. And so we're going to have a little thing that tells whenever somebody gets up to level 10. And, you know, halfway through the Raid Shadow Legends sponsor, getting hungry again. That's, again, another shout-out to HelloFresh. Eat some more food. Another ad break, obviously, at that point. It's a 2-hour stream block.
I do need to go get gems.
So that's a
I have
6-hour ad
teleport
break
ready.
again. Then after that, finish up the Raid Shadow Legends stream, and then, you know, you're talking about the end of the stream. What you're gonna be doing tomorrow. You know, tomorrow you've got an event that's gonna be happening with Twitch. It's a, you know, a Twitch rival sponsored event, so you'll be doing that too. And so you can watch on the Twitch Rivals channel, and then also on your streamer's channel. That way you get 12 minutes of ads. And after all that, they run some ads at the end of the stream, because that's okay. And 6 minutes, 12 minutes, who cares? Who's counting anymore? And then that's the end of the stream, but before they do that, they link their link tree, of course, which has the Forbidden Fruit OnlyFans on it, and also some potential other things too, like YouTube and things like that. After that, the stream is over, and you're excited and ready for the stream tomorrow. Wow. Wow. You know what you call that? Community. it's problematic, man. And I hope that Twitch will be able to cut down the ads and make a system that is not cannibalistic towards the end user experience. If the end user is not the priority, if anything other than providing the end user with a good experience is the goal, your goal will fail. Because if you are not giving somebody a value proposition, why would they see value in your website? It's that simple.
Blood and thunder. Farewell.
I think it's glowing. Yeah, it's glowing. No one really gives a shit about the resilience rating. Ah, god damn it. He's already in the process of it, and I need him to shut up.
Nice! I got number 1. Let's go. Oh,
if we start drafting from the bottom up, like biggest number wins, can we draft that way?
I'll go vulture. I'll go a little bit vulture.
Oh, we got a different killer roll for one. We were switching it up.
All the good rolls get taken at the very beginning.
Yeah, like the detective.
I don't know. Rocky popped off as detective last time.
I'm waiting for 27 years on the floor.
Welcome.
Yeah, Rocky's fucking.
Nothing for you.
His magnifying glass was dirty as shit. I detected Rella.
I mean, he was right. I did murder. He's not wrong.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I needed to.
R.I.P. to the
respect you
king.
to do that. You did it right in front of me.
That's true.
Detective.
Bro, when you drop a locksmith on your squad, that's when you know you hard up. And them picks had to be terrible. Yo, you know what? Locksmith sounds like a fun round. Like, god damn.
Talk about lock a door. Psych. I'm sorry. Talk about locking that one door. Psych.
Not today.
The locksmith should be able to open up the sabotage doors too. That would be sick.
I agree with that too. That would be blood and thunder.
What you doing up here, Squirrel? Just hanging out?
I'm gonna do that because if I remember right, the
Blue to
headpiece or
blue,
something's
red to
actually really
red.
good.
It won't work if you also do it.
But it did.
The whole fucking thing.
Squirrel, how you feeling, fella?
Yeah,
You sound good. You know?
to reactor.
You're a YouTube. Oh, celebrity.
Did you just see? Okay, good. You did see it. Saw the thing.
Austin.
What are you doing here?
Austin.
You guys aren't even gonna put out the fire?
Austin, did you just notice anything or what?
I don't got it. It's much actually lower than I thought it was.
All right, Squirrel, run.
You can't run from us.
Okay.
There we go! Yes!
Austin, that wasn't a good kill. So me and Alex, I was running behind Alex. We just came from showers. I was like, he was like, "Dang, really, you didn't die?" And I was like, "Has anyone died, Alex?" And he was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Ooh." So then we run through the pile of people. Then Austin says, "Welp," and then Alex disappears, and I report the body.
That
So
is
pretty sure
100%, 100%
Are you
exactly
medium?
how it happened.
Okay, here's Austin's
Want me
evil.
to vote for you? Is
So,
that what you're saying?
I am evil,
I was on
but I do
Kyle's
want to
body.
laugh at Kyle and Chosen for sheriff killing each other a couple seconds ago. That was low-key kind of funny. So I walked by that, and then, yeah, I stabbed Alex just like you said.
Nice. Me and Squirrel figured it out because Austin didn't know the celebrity died. And then I detected him, and he had a demon. He had a demon on top of his fucking head. I mean, Austin, you were fucked by like every possible way.
Yep. Don't worry. Don't worry. I've killed 3 people so far. I'm feeling pretty good about myself.
Who's the celebrity? It doesn't. It didn't
Doesn't say.
Anymore. It just shows you
Yeah,
that the celebrity died.
that
Yeah.
just shows they died.
Just the
Oh,
roll.
Alex was good.
Yeah.
I tell you who it wasn't.
Yeah.
Kyle.
It wasn't me.
Or chosen.
It wasn't Kyle.
I think it was Kyle or Chosen.
Because that would not.
Whoever the sheriff wasn't. I don't know who killed who in that scenario, but it was one of those two.
Oh, were they
I'm
like
mad that
yelling at
Austin
each other or
might
something?
have just. Okay.
No,
How do we almost not?
I thought he almost squeaked out.
Wait, why does Rocky have a vote?
He said, huh?
Oh,
Huh? Huh? All right, Squirrel, I trust you explicitly.
Welcome back.
Alright.
What story was Rilla telling? Weren't we with Austin? He didn't kill Alex.
They just came out of the fire. They just came out of the smoke, remember? There could have been anything in there. I don't know what happened.
I thought Rilla just made a whole fake story.
Do you have a cool role that you want to discuss? I'm glad I didn't go in there.
I have Avenger. Did I
Nice.
just do that?
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't do that, alright?
Okay, I'm a private dick.
I don't know
No
what
one
that
wanted to
means.
be my rival this time. Everyone was too
What is a
scared. I have
private
no
dick?
rival.
Rocky, do you know what a
What?
private dick is?
Well, if he knew about it, it wouldn't be private, Squirrel.
Then why the hell did you tell me private dick?
Squirrel, if you joined the army, you'd be a private dick.
I don't know why. It looked like his tune waddled off like just differently than normal.
And then he waddled away.
Rocky, I'm just fuck.
What?
I'm just gonna talk. I hope you can hear me. Rocky?
Yo, turn off the lights, man. What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure Rocky's Dodo. Based off of who what? That's why. I kind of trust you because of the whole Austin thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did everything.
But you could be something shitty like a damn. I don't remember the roles. You could be shittier. You know, you might not be a duck, but you just might be a shitter. You know?
I mean, I do like shitting. Don't hurt.
Whoa.
Judgment free zone, remember? Judgment free zone.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Free zone.
Brother, what you doing with that TV? I just
Fix these fucking antennas.
realized
Grab the second one.
what this is on the table right here. That is 100% an Uncrustable.
There's that green filling in it, though.
Green, it's red on my screen. Looks like jelly.
It's got a little bit of red and a little bit of green.
Let me.
Looks more like a wrap.
Oh,
I think you might.
Oh.
Do I see green? I
Yeah,
do
you
see the
at
green.
bottom?
I do it now, a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Listen, maybe it's a
pita.
pita pocket. Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, pita pocket.
Okay.
It's like a pussy pocket, but
All right. All right.
ba-ba-ba-ba.
Fix that.
What? That means.
Correction. Rocky has been killed.
Somebody make it so.
That'd be so fucked up.
Fuck you up, fuck you up.
What? I'm not sure what I just heard.
You too?
Hi.
it worked.
Me giggling. Could you hit shift or
Aye.
door space on me?
Shift and/or space. Rocky, I believe, is now
I did lights
deceased.
twice, by the way. Okay.
Brother, I think Rocky no longer is among the living.
Okay. Oh, what are you doing on Saturday?
I don't know. Why? What's up?
There's a taco truck festival at Coliseum.
and honor.
Me and Sheree are going to it. They got margaritas too, but I know that interests you. But the taco stuff.
Huh.
Well, damn. I don't think Squirrel deserved that at all, Chrono. What the hell? He just like clotheslined the man right in front of me and Rose.
It was taking too damn long. My partner's not alive. I gotta go, dude.
I gotta go, bro. I gotta go.
I gotta play things to do, places to be. I can't be here. Make this quick.
Squirrel didn't even say anything. I got you, Squirrel. I got you. Squirrel.
All right. Well, I would just fix lights twice that round, so I've been kind of chilling.
Yeah. I was doing tasks and I witnessed speedy death, I guess. Or it could be Dodo. Wait, hold up.
No, it's not Dodo. Just Dodo.
Yeah, wait, no, it's only one.
It's because I saw it. Cause just yeah. All right. We did good. We did good. We did good. We did good.
We did good.
We did good. Hey, crewmates. Hey, the geese are fucking tonight. All right. Oh, oh.
It's the geese.
I hate that. Oh, I know. I was spectating Rella
What the hell is that about?
That shit. That shit went left so quick.
I heard when I started spectating.
The Cliff Notes version is, I saw a sandwich on the table. I said, Rilla, this looks like an Uncrustable. He said, no, look, it's got some green in it. And I looked closer. I was like, yeah. I was like, we're like, oh, that must be like a pita. And I'm like, yeah, like a pita pocket. And he's like, yeah, like a pussy pocket. Like, Jesus. Okay. Come on. There's literally no fucking shot that.
Yo, Toons is never gonna play this game mode again, bro. Triple digits.
My shit is, I got 12.
God, leave, bro. It's gonna be slim pickings down there.
All right, Rilla's one of the top 3.
Look at the top 3 lineup of the NBA,
Golly!
Ultra, and Pigeon.
We got another holy shit.
And a fucking Canadian.
Hey, no, you know what, Squirrel? Your host sucks.
People accuse me, Alice. When people accuse me, she's like, no, it wasn't me. And then she'll like laugh to herself, like, like, yeah, that was a good defense. Like, yeah. It wasn't me.
An Avenger, Rocky on the board at number 9.
I'm 12. I already told you I'm 12, you lying ass.
People know me.
On the board at number 10 picks the
People
Vigilante.
know me.
Chrono on the board at number 11 picks the.
Mechanic?
Oh, this must be a tough one. He's taking the full time here.
Now watch this. Oh, number 12. I wonder what I am. Oh, there's no telling. I wonder if it's about to be the dun 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 sheriff.
See, that's not bad.
I don't know.
It's an assassin, you dumbass.
I timed that shit so perfect. It really looked like I knew what it was gonna be. That was so sick. Shake this.
Hello, Squirrel. Hello, Kyle. How are we doing today? Squirrels don't know how to use computers. What the hell you think you're doing?
You silly.
In cartoons is
Fuck, what the fuck are you looking at?
You're not looking at much. You got one eye.
Tell me your what?
Staring at me with that X.
You know what I am. All right, I can take both of us down at a moment's notice. Notice.
True, he did. A moment's notice.
What the fuck are you? If I had to guess, I would guess something stupid.
Sheriff. You literally said sheriff after the guy said sheriff or pick sheriff.
You think so, Squirrel?
I'm out of range.
I think so. You don't want to kill me. All right. You're gonna lie about his roast be a big news story.
Oh! I see what you're saying. But you're saying if I kill Chosen, no one would care? Is that what you're saying? Come here, Squirrel. I'm killing the shit out of you. Where'd you go? You go up? Probably went up.
I need to get closer.
He was.
Canada.
That's Canadian. Yeah.
That feels like Canada.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
Get him out of here. Although before you guys can actually ease that cheese.
I don't have time for
You
this.
think I won't? I'll tell you what.
Oh, wait!
I'm out of range.
Easy Dodo win?
I'm giving it to him. No, definitely no random rolls that are
Why did everyone not vote? What happened here?
Because
Admiral Spice Steel like.
Go down swinging, buddy.
Oh shit! He hit him with a 360 no scope on his way out.
I'm out of range.
I remember being disappointed that he wasn't instantly voted out. I just watched those
Did you? 100%?
100%.
Very funny.
Fuck! I might have been baited. Was I baited, Rose?
Yeah, I was vigilante.
Oh fuck!
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh, Rocky, yeah.
With the pigeon.
Oh my.
It's perfect.
It's a roguelike, but you're like a circle. That's the best way I can put it. A roguelike, but you're a circle.
You ain't number 7 because I am. Lying ass.
I'm number 7.
I'm number 11. Hold on, who fucking goes random first?
Don't you dare claim my number. Don't you do that.
Listen, y'all keep claiming numbers, but I can prove it just like last time with Sheriff. All right, watch this. You ready for number 7? You ready to look like a lion ass? Huh?
Someone pick assassin. Alright, assassin, I'm gonna need you to call the meeting right off the jump. Assassin, call the meeting.
That's still recharging.
I can do it all.
Watch this. Number 7.
Random literally just be fucking
3, 2, 1. Technician.
Oh, damn. You're welcome.
Yo, 40 hit different, right?
Watch this.
You know, I'm liking all these randoms so far.
I don't know why those are still showing up. I already did them.
I love Alex, bro. I love Alex.
Oh shit, bro.
There's no shot a killer gets picked last round, right?
Yo, I got before. I got picked.
The next review you is one of their own.
Time to kit. It's Morbin time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Morbin time.
Did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Morbin time.
For the whole. How?
Beer back.
It's Morbin time.
Down to the shuttle.
gives a
Pass
fuck.
the word.
Yeah, he said nothing. He just, oh. Guess I'm going back to take a look at it. Take a gander.
Yep.
There's a goose.
Goose. Oh,
There-
is that little shit
lies
smear squirrel?
Yeah. He said absolutely nothing when we spawned, ran directly to the shuttle, and just death.
All right.
Right indeed. Right indeed.
So, who is the? Well, fuck it. If it's you, you got me. All right. If you're the mimic, you got me.
Austin dead in the guarding room. Don't know when this happened. I turned on lights. Kyle and Chosen are with me. Don't know. I think Kyle came from the bottom. Not really sure where Chosen came from. As the
I came
lights were
from
off,
the right,
was
but I
on
did
the
not
light panel.
come from this. I think somebody killed him right before the lights came on.
Okay. So is there only
Rocky-
one killer, or is one of the killers random?
Rocky
I know
was
that-
on the right side, so he's safe.
Yeah.
I know that
yeah,
Meows
yeah,
and
Tunes
Alex were
Rocky
in like
took
the
shuttle to the
shower
right.
area. Was he in there?
Yeah.
Scroll down to the shuttle. He killed himself, so there was only
No,
one
no.
legit kill this round. Yeah.
No note.
Dirty shower. Somebody threw an egg in there. I think it was
Yeah.
Goose.
I think it was Meows.
Dare you, Alex?
No, I mean, I said Goose. He threw an egg in the shower.
How dare you, Alex?
Wait, no, it wasn't Meow.
Again, they were in
Wait, hold
shower.
up.
I think it was Meows.
Ah.
think it might be meows.
It might be meows.
It might be. It could be meows.
Meows
I mean,
is
damn.
good.
Meows, did you do this?
I'm down to shoot a cat.
Meows, why are you giggling so much? It's you.
Wait, Meows, your party? Your party? What'd you do this round?
Oh, my party. Oh.
There's no party.
Nothing.
You're not partying.
I think it's meows.
Oh man, y'all are trolling today. Oh.
It still could be meows, though.
It 100% could be Meows, right?
Yeah, it could be.
Again? Just cough on me? It's kind of gross.
Okay, I think unless it's you. I think it's, Rose.
Rose.
Yeah.
The,
The
Mimic
impersonator.
I knew it. Guys,
And I think this is a bitch. He's impersonating someone who's not, but he is.
So this body is in a bridge in communication, and I heard Kyle and Ghosty yelling.
Oh, Canada.
No, trust me, if I was maple syrup, I'd be.
With you
Really,
and maple
don't do me like crony. Don't do me like crony boy.
Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Hockey is great.
what are you still laughing at, Meows? Is it Meows? Meows, did you kill somebody?
It's meows. I'm voting meows.
Yeah, I'm voting Meows.
I vote Meows as well.
It's a very suspicious laugh.
Oh, Canada, we love you, Canada.
Why did Kyle have 2 votes? Why did-
Probably chosen in him.
Kyle fucking did it! I heard them yelling!
Oh, that was convenient.
It was. Hello.
Oh, hello again. My partner in crime, right?
Mm-hmm. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. So, Tunes, I got something I got to share with you. So, I am the spy, so I know your little tricks. Last words?
Fuck.
You were doing so well.
Fuck.
You were doing so well. I was so hyped for you.
Oh, fuck. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun. Come on, I want number 1.
Son of a bitch!
Shit.
Why am I so lucky?
The final countdown.
Oh, okay. All right, we got a dodo in the mix.
100%
We got a party.
Fucking party? How about
Goodbye,
not
all
say
the
party
good
so we can get
rolls.
another duck?
Goodbye, all.
Okay.
That's the
We're
party.
just playing the same game on repeat.
Oh.
Somebody chose a wrong.
Wait,
Meows got some
so
beef.
that's 3 dodos?
No, it's
Technically? It's 2
No,
dodos.
no,
Because
no.
dueling dodos gotta be.
No, but
Dueling dodos has to be 3.
I see 3 yellow birds. It's 3.
Three yellow
How is he playing 2 roles?
I thought there was gonna be another dodo. Because
There's
of
the
that.
dodo, and then there's the dueling dodos. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were different roles, so I got confused.
So you thought that somebody would just pick a role for them and somebody else?
That means we're not getting good rolls.
I guess you're right.
Yeah,
Since we're
Wait,
picking
Rilla,
roles.
how are you seeing with those lemon glasses?
Oh man, that's a lot of random.
They're candy lemon. Avenger.
Avenger, okay. A lot of random.
Yo, I still got some fucking birthday cake.
Let's go.
Cake
Double
is
cheeked
nice.
up. Wait,
Cake,
what?
Cake. Oh, we could eat
kind of
your
cake
birthday
is
cake?
it?
I thought we had to eat the cupcake.
You did. I took the damn birthday cake home. I didn't see all the rolls. I did not see all the rolls. Austin, hey, I did not see all the roles. I remember it was Party Duck, Demolitionist, and what? Was there another killer?
No, you're doing 2 killers and a mimic right now.
Oh.
I didn't see a falcon or anything though, unless
Okay.
I like zoned out though.
All right. Hey, Rose. Wow, Rose, you turned into Austin. What the fuck? Austin?
Am I pretty?
Okay, you said literally like that was the wildest shit. Hey, Kyle.
Stories up in that motherfucker.
Excuse me?
What? What?
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about last
You know,
round, Meows.
Oh, it's okay. I trusted you.
You did. You did.
Yeah. You jerk.
I just started vouching for you for no reason. I'm like, maybe this will just get her trust. I'm like, nope, Meows is fine.
You
And
got me, you jerk. You're lucky there's no other birds of prey.
yeah,
Otherwise, it would have been illegal.
but I trust you this round, okay?
Okay.
It's Meows.
Listen, I can't say anything. Sorry, my brain, huh?
Oh, look.
Oh shit! I don't even know what the.
Yeah, what the fuck? So, okay, Rilla and I were in the space shootout into space thing, and the door shut, so we thought somebody got yeeted to space, so we went to check, and then as we're leaving, Rose walks by, Rilla just cuts her head off and goes, But then I was like, I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, maybe it was an invisible goose or something. I don't know what just happened. But then I remembered I'm the fucking detective. So I click on Rilla and there's an evil goose above his head. Demon.
Listen, that's all great, no. That's all great, no. Wait, hold on.
Wow.
You boys only got 10 seconds to live. Hold on. I got a bomb on me. Me and Meows is in the same motherfucking room right now.
Not again, Chosen. Not again. This sounds fucking like the run back.
Look me in my eyeballs and tell me that you did not
Somebody
give me this
did
bomb.
draft detective too. Fuck.
Huh?
No, I said
Wait, what the fuck
Goose,
detective
look me in
do?
my eyeballs with your one good eye and tell me you did not give me this motherfucking
When the
bomb.
fuck did, oh yeah, I did see you before the meeting was, but that was fucking forever. That was like 30 seconds ago.
But that was like 5 seconds ago. What do you mean?
I was down with fucking Alex when this meeting was called. He was saying, dude, what the fuck?
Rocky, good news. Nobody cares. Don't let me fucking catch you.
I was about to say nobody.
I did see Toons. I did see Toons. I did see him.
Funny.
We got short
That
attention
sounds like an
spans, Rilla.
angry
You're good
third
for
grader.
another round.
Like this is an angry third grader.
You're gonna hear a boom, and it may or may not be me. You better hope to God you don't spawn on me. Oh, no, I got multiple votes on the voice.
Bro, I better. Oh, dang. They just said, yeah, we'll go Rilla, move on.
Rilla got folded.
Oh,
That might be my fault. I'm gonna keep it.
Bug.
Why is everything?
Bro, did we forget there was dueling?
Did you? Oh my God.
Watching cartoons up in my room. Watching cartoons up in my
Today's video
And I'm back. Back again.
Is brought to you by Audible. Audible provides an easily accessible way to access audiobooks for its members, just one of the reasons why I recommend it, along with enabling you to make huge savings
Pour
on
my
the newest
soda.
full-length Warhammer audiobooks.
KDS
As an Audible member, you get 1
stands.
credit every month to use on any title.
Have not read Shadowbreaker. Well, fuck. Grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. What is this quote? The Omnissiah gifts us with his wrath made manifest, that we may turn it upon his foes with fulsome vengeance. Diptus Mechanicus, Sacristan Niammer? Sorry, not Sacristan. Sacristan. Sacristan Niamor. Oh, it's Knights. Should have known that when I saw the Sacristan. I thought he'd already done a Knights video. I could be wrong, though.
The Mechanicus of the Imperium lay waste to all enemies of humanity with their immense bipedal god machines of war, the Titans. Feared throughout the galaxy, these awe-inspiring constructs command some of the most advanced and destructive weaponry deployed by the Imperium of mankind. Yet, Titans
the
are not
Imperium, so
necessarily
most
always
destructive
a
deployed by
suitable tool for
anyone.
every engagement. Their immense size can obviously be prohibitive, not to mention the power of their weapons not always practical if you want to perform surgical strikes or just fight between buildings and not cause catastrophic collateral damage. Enter the Imperial Knights. Created as the defenders of the farthest frontiers of human settlement, and importantly far more compact than gargantuan Titans, but just as ancient and able to bring to a battlefield a comparable scale of force when an entire knight household deploys for war. Their powerful weapon systems ranged in close quarters, spraying either superheated energy into their foes or pinning them to the ground under a hail of thousands of rounds of ammunition from Gatling cannon. Similar scale enemies will be torn or shredded by brutal chainswords or their thunderstrike gauntlets. Their ancient ion fields can make knights almost invulnerable to all but the most devastating enemy weaponry by projecting an energy field in a narrow arc to the front of a knight. The positioning of the shield though is essential, as ion fields are only designed to deflect and slow shots, comparative to say void shields, which are more encompassing, used on Titans. The weaponry and defensive capabilities of knights lie singularly in the hands of their pilots. Revered and noble members of imperial planets who go to battle under the colourful banners of their noble houses, often that have existed for millennia and can trace their lineage back even to the period before that of isolation. Of course, they stride into battle under the banner of the Imperium in M41. The ancient fog of history obfuscates their origin, as these knights did not begin their role as imperial. They were defenders of their isolation worlds and their populations, some of the many colonies who had spread far throughout the galaxy prior to the Age of Strife. The knights were a typically human design of construct to answer the threats faced. A versatile tank of a walker,
I need to go kill that
armed with
guy.
maximum firepower. Its bulk, a weapon in and of itself, and for those who would face it, few have an answer that can bring defeat. One knight is enough to hold a town, a court of knights a city, a household a world, and when several worlds and knight houses combine, their force enough to subdue or conquer entire star systems. Unsurprisingly, it's often humanity's most ancient machine designs and technology that also remain the most powerful, even to the current time of M41. Humanity, long, long ago, reached out. It dreamt of how one day it would touch the stars. And despite
Michael, let
a
me
long focus and
fucking.
understanding of
Oh,
science and
it's not even what I
technology,
need. Oh well.
humanity of old Earth
Fireball
remained
proc
tethered
must be
and
used.
limited to being able to practically explore its own solar system, only able to reach the great void beyond with small probes and unmanned exploration craft. In the Imperium of M41, this ancient past of humanity is not something its citizens spend time to consider, and even among its scholars and administrators, few have a solid understanding as to the obscured past. fragments of information are found periodically, but little of this time is detailed by the Administratum. Those such as the Mechanicus, Inquisition, even the Astartes, may hold the rarer records amid their vast library vaults. And of course those in the past, such as Malcador and the Emperor himself, would have remembered these times and collected objects and records from the period. The point being, it's incredibly difficult to date the exact development of humanity from confinement within our own solar system to when we initiated real, meaningful colonization and transports out of our solar system and onward to other systems. We do know that somewhere between the 15th and 20th millennium, humanity, which this is obviously a massive margin of error, began to travel beyond our system and were actively attempting to colonize new worlds. This is such a huge block of time though, and unfortunately it prevents any further interesting or more detailed analysis. This is of course also where the origin of both AI and the STC system begin to be spoken about in the ancient records of human history. AI and potentially genetic development navigators, for example, who are so critical for space travel even in M41, are believed to have been artificially created during the Golden Age so as to allow warp travel. These understandings enabled humanity to reach far beyond its previous technological limitations, and the STC system is believed to have been the keystone for that. One of the well-known critical problems encountered by early colonists is that they were entirely isolated once they reached their new home planets, and therefore had to rely on whatever materials they had carried with them and were available, as well as the knowledge and the capabilities of the colonists. Now that in itself was pretty formidable, but humanity was entering its zenith period of achievement, and the STC system was designed to provide each colony with the sum total of humanity's combined knowledge. This was, after all, a shared achievement, and it was deemed necessary and appropriate that every world should be able to access all of the gathered knowledge for humanity. This was, after all, its greatest achievement. It had unlocked the power of the human race, and is even said that at this zenith period known as the Golden Age, or for the Imperium, the Dark Age of technology, humanity had stood alone now as truly the most powerful race in the entire galaxy. This is arguably debatable given what we know about the Necron tier and the Eldar in their own time, but it is known that humanity from this age had seemingly achieved time travel and were capable of destroying nearly any threat that they encountered, not to mention highly adept at terraforming, genetic and AI development that are not seen anywhere else. So it likely is not too much of a stretch to suggest that humanity at this point were the most technologically advanced race to have existed in the galaxy. It's worth noting that even other races in the 41st millennium often fight with humanity still in M41 to obtain the rare and priceless STC templates that are sometimes discovered. The fact that these are valuable to others beyond humanity suggests the knowledge contained within was and remains unachievable by Xenos. On the other hand, it could of course be they just don't want humanity to have it. Upon the worlds humanity settled though, they requested these STC, this standard template construct, of which a large focus for the Imperium is still the recovery of these master works. And it's even believed that by simply inputting available material data, an STC could solve any and all problems, from environmental threats to harmful viruses, food shortages, power limitations. Any issue could be overcome, including providing formidable defenses. We know that some STC function and work into M41. We know, for example, that the Votan seem to have STC. We also know that even some gangs of Necromunda appear to have STC, and undoubtedly the Mechanicus as well. But back in the ancient history of humanity, the isolated colonies had no galactic armies to protect them, and burgeoning human settlements were obviously at risk of Xenos assault even during this early time. Orcs and Eldar were out there in the galaxy, not to mention all other manner of creatures that have likely now been exterminated by the immense genocidal purge known to humanity as the Emperor's Great Crusade. But there was little great about it for those peaceful alien worlds who saw their entire planet scoured of culture and civilization, their crime existing. Before the power of the Imperium though, many colonies turned to their STC to provide them with the technological power to resist any and all threats that may come upon them, and this is where the origin of the Knights begins. It's also my belief that this is where the origins of Titans begin, as Titans are essentially scaled up versions of Knights using highly comparable system designs, not to mention the fact that in M41, Titans with AI were encountered. It's very unlikely that the Mechanicum would have created AI. We can understand that these vast war machines during the Age of Strife and the collapse of Mars already existed. but that's truly a whole other story, and I've spoken about it before. Human colonies were able to defend themselves now, and knights were not the only thing they had on their side, of course. We believe in the ancient times AI were available to many colonies. In just what form or number is unknown. It's entirely possible that there were also iterations of cybernetic adaptations similar to servitors, although likely not exactly the same. It's entirely speculative. And the reason for that being that all indications are during the zenith period of humanity, it had achieved a more moral, sociological level of pure scientific and ideological enlightenment, free from past millstones to advancements such as corrupt individually focused leadership, widespread societal ignorance and many prejudices. Just how accurate that is for this period, or how rose-tinted the lens of these fragments of information are very open to speculation. It may well be more of a slice, a cross-section, rather than the whole picture. Clues that point toward human cybernetic hybrids, AI, who eventually rebelled, may point to things being less than utopian. The reason I suggest this is that while AI was certainly part of humanity's golden age, it also stands to reason that cybernetics and drone-like servitors could have played a role. Such concepts are explored in other verses, like the replicants of the Tyrell and Wallace core in Blade Runner, whereby their off-world expansions are only made possible due to artificially produced humans, genetically designed and restricted to a life of essentially slavery. Such events are certainly plausible within a humanity whose religion is essentially science, and who have potentially become entirely disconnected from the concept of what humanity means. We may speculate this period of the golden or dark age of technology would have created, perhaps necessitated, a highly compartmentalized society whose structure was disconnected somewhat, especially emotionally. This crosses over into the cryptic descriptions of this time, but the point being, it's likely that what we see now in the Imperium is a far degraded, perverse and bastardized version of what were once part of humanity's highest scientific achievements. The reason I consider this to be a plausible scenario is how we see technology existing in M41. It's this far degraded form that involves the use of wetware, artificially grown humans. Then there's the considerable amount of cybernetic augmentation and the Imperium's ability to create transhuman genetic modification to create, say, the Astartes. All of this undoubtedly originates from the golden age of humanity, and it seems at least plausible that in order to achieve such things they would have at least begun to view the concept of individual life and humanity differently. Ultimately, just what form their ideological or philosophical concepts took is something we're unable to define. But this is of course one of the most interesting mysteries about the humans of the dark age of technology. How would their views look to us? Enlightened? Visionary? Godlike? Depraved? Morally perverse? Abhorrent? Who can really say without more information, something which sadly seems very unlikely to be available to us. One thing we do know though is that very much like the technology of the Imperium, the developments unlocked through the Golden Age gave rise to machines capable of perfectly integrating with human brains and the neurological system. It's likely that this is why the Emperor was capable of developing the Astartes project, the Golden Throne, things like this in the first place. Because whilst he required vast and highly expert scientists to complete those goals, the foundation of such achievements originated in the Golden Age. They weren't just produced out of thin air after unification. This blending of human minds and advanced machines seems to have been very prevalent in that time, and we do know that in one example humans piloted space vessels.
Jesus Christ, the difference there is humongous.
AI, and that for a ship to be separated from their paired human was apparently quite traumatic, as seen through the account of the Spirit of Eternity, where it becomes apoplectic at the ship's captain being tortured and murdered at the hands of the Imperium. Of course, humans are still linked with ships to some degree in the age of the Imperium, and it's why navigators can sometimes be suspended in those fluid tanks to merge and pilot a craft. It's also why Princeps of Titans are so incredibly rare and have to be partnered with suitable colossal war machines. The same is very much true for Imperial Knights, albeit on a far smaller scale. But this pairing of human-machine had far broader consequences than just functionality. In fact, it was through this pairing of human mind and machine which led to what would eventually become known as Night Worlds, and it also allowed these colonized planets to be spared the horrors of the Age of Strife, where others would be consumed and scoured by the nightmarish entities of the warp. When it comes to the technology and machinery of the Imperium and Mechanicus, one of the most commonly discussed aspects of not just their colossal war machines, but most technology of humanity by the period of M41 is the
Just need to go
concept
Blade's
of the
Edge.
machine spirit, which is something
Yeah.
we hear about from lowly guardsmen, superhuman Astartes, and powerful figures among Mechanicus, or pilots of huge war machines such as the Imperial Knights. All will tell tales and can speak in relation to having to appease the so-called machine spirit. But what does this in fact mean? What is a machine spirit? Well, it's one of those things that sometimes can be overthought, but not without fair reason, to be honest, as a machine spirit is one of those things that is regularly distorted and twisted over misunderstandings. Like many things among the galaxy of M41, this is not helped by the fact that what is deemed to be a machine spirit may not always actually exist. In some instances, it very much exists. In others, it may simply be someone an ignorant member of the Imperium is attributing to machine spirit-like characteristics. One of the fundamental tenets of human society post-Age of Strife was of course the strict outlawing of all artificial intelligence. However, even that is something of a vague, arbitrary blanket rule. For one thing, it's not extremely clear just how big a part AI played in the downfall of humanity, who or why or even when it all came to a head. Of course, it's said that the war with the Men of Iron is what caused that situation and that they were believed to be AI. But we know so little, we really can't say 100% for sure that is the case. And what I mean by that is that seemingly AI did at some point contribute to human civilization during its zenith time imploding. There's references that are suggestive of other figures though being involved. And this is where we come back to the classic terms, those men of gold, stone and iron. I don't want to do a long version about that, but speculatively, the Men of Stone appear to have been something akin to perhaps replicants, partially or entirely organic beings, at least equal, perhaps superior to humans in terms of both strength and mental capability, but perhaps lacking in what some may deem to be a soul, no ability to be creative or feel as humans do. They were aided by AI as humanity began to explore the galaxy, and those men of gold, we can infer perhaps what we want to. It's all extremely speculative though, as the only source material relevant is told through allegorical references from unreliable narrators. And again, just to go on a tangent, I've often wondered whether the thing that the Emperor needed from the Chaos Gods was in fact souls to instill into the Primarchs. Perhaps he was capable of creating the genetic, basically the empty human bodies, but was unable to really fill them with a soul, and that's what he needed. And with that in mind, you could easily go off into, again, things I've discussed about before with how souls work in the 40k verse, in terms of how we know Eldar souls can be pulled back from the warp and essentially attached to bodies. Perhaps something like that occurred there. But in terms of these ideas about AI, Men of Iron and so forth, one of my favourite, of course, you will know, is from the out-of-production short story collection Dark Imperium, not to be confused with the Dark Imperium trilogy by Guy Haley, which details the return of the Ultramarines Primarch in M41. No, we're talking about the moderately hard-to-obtain 2001 collection, specifically the story titled Ancient History by Andy Chambers, and I've referenced it previously in other videos because it's one of the few examples where we appear to get a glimpse of the fact that possibly artificial intelligence, men of stone or scattered fragments survive into M41. And that's where we see this guy aboard a ship who is being hunted seemingly by electro-priests of the Mechanicus. Eventually he ends up defeating a Chaos Space Marine and repairing a human, giving him bionics, despite the fact he appears to be just a standard guy aboard an Imperial ship, a slave worker essentially. But it appears as if some kind of AI is trapped within the cybernetics of this guy. There's other references as well, many of which I've noted in past videos, self-aware ships, constructs, individuals and so on. And we presume of course that the vast majority of these artificial creations of humanity were purged in the aftermath. I say presume because, again, how successful this was is entirely unknown. Clearly, some slipped through the net and survived, kind of like the Thunder Warriors, but nobody really knows how the end of that war concluded. It's sometimes speculated that humanity was even aided by Xenos such as the Eldari, who maybe as they often do foresaw it as being necessary to help them crush the AI of humanity, that they were too dangerous to emerge victorious, or that humanity would be needed in the time to come to prevent some far greater threat to the galaxy. The Eldar themselves of course never acting in this way unless it's going to benefit them, that goes without saying. So whilst it may appear that I am yet again rambling off topic, there is a relevant point to this, which is that it's very often suspected AI or other ambiguous ancient things are misunderstood fundamentally by the Imperium and Mechanicus in M41, and if not
It's
that,
on
then
green?
just severely underestimated. And that tends to be shown almost whenever they encounter actual AI. This is of course a testament to both how advanced humanity was during the Dark Age of technology and also how far it has fallen since. Because often, despite how powerful humanity feels itself to be in the age of the Imperium, whenever they encounter these AI or past technologies, it suddenly is on an entirely, not just other level, but entire other scale of power and technology, so much so that those in M41, even who should understand these things, are so ignorant about it that they actively endanger themselves because of just how outclassed they are. My point is that whilst the Imperium may strictly outlaw artificial intelligence or abominable intelligence as they cringingly refer to it, it's very questionable if they even have the capability and wherewithal to actually define and understand an AI, and that perhaps that's why they slip through the net, because they just can't detect them. It's more than likely, if not literally apparent, that some survive, like we say, into M41, and because of their very nature, they're just able to avoid detection. And so, this is where we finally come to that strange, quasi-spiritualistic terminology used by the Mechanicus and the Imperium of the machine spirit. And I say that because it seems unlikely to me, although I can't say for certain, that during the golden age of humanity the use of the word spirit would have been applicable to their technology, or even in the common vocabulary of this period, especially given what we understand to be their ideological shift towards an atheistic or agnostic society. And instead, technological advancement became their saviour. Of course, we also need to accept just how little we know of that time. Realistically, it's anybody's guess as to how language or terminology may have been applied to their technology. Possible they might have even used the term spirit, I would like to imagine, perhaps flippantly or with a wry sense of humour. But what I personally feel makes the most sense is that this concept of a machine spirit is applied later, amid the darkened, grossly ignorant future, where humanity has regressed and spiraled down into incense burning, holy oils, technological superstition, and mythical beliefs to keep advanced machinery operational. Not to mention, of course, a healthy dose of fear used by the Imperium to justify their erstwhile heretical technological capabilities. That is to say that they use forms of AI, authorized though through very loose rationalizations as Mechanicus approved hardware. Paperwork stamped, sanctioned for official use, but for which in many cases they've not even the foundational understandings of just what is going on inside. I think in reality, we may consider that the Imperium continues to use a spectrum of artificial intelligence to enable the continued operation and wealth of technology used in M41. But the thing with that is, it's just on a scale of how you wish to define it. Robotic automata as used by the Mechanicum in the past are no longer allowed and strictly controlled in their use. The Mechanicus, the individuals themselves, were very often basically wetware constructs at this point. They used bioplastic doctrina wafers in some of their robotic automata machines, instead of them previously having kind of AI brains to just do what they wanted. Now they're very heavily controlled through this blending of organic and machine.
I fucking hate
It's
spiders.
become a wider common practice, albeit, of course, in a more crude way than the past. It's a means by which to achieve acceptable levels of autonomy, but without the risk of sentient artificial beings. It's various shades of AI grey is my point, that start with things like servitors and servo skulls, to pairing a human brain with a machine, through to cybernetic hybrids, eventually near enough functional AI, just dressed up with vague terminology. Machine spirits, though, are often discussed on this scale of power. For example, a lasgun may be talked about as having a machine spirit, but it's really undefinable. A humble Imperial Rhino transport may have some weak elements of machine spirit. Aircraft, of course, are going to. Others, like drop pods and land raiders, are said to have stronger machine spirits. And all of these things, I think, easily can be interpreted as a basic AI system, autopiloting, targeting mechanisms, and so on. Likely no true sentient awareness, of course, but maybe it's still in there, like 2% say. But these things are compared against what would be deemed to be a powerful machine spirit, such as a Reaver, Warlord Titan, and not mere guidance and operational systems. When it comes to a Titan, the spirit within, it's very much aware of itself, and to degrees, its surroundings. And it has to be controlled and suppressed.
Why, these things chase you for fucking
and
ever.
successfully through the use of a human pilot.
Weird little
princess.
Flappy Bird looking
It's even been
shithead.
observed that Titans will dream whilst in their transport bays on board starships while travelling through the void. There are many descriptions of pilots or princeps having to wrestle mentally with a Titan machine spirit to prevent it going on basically a destructive rampage of slaughter. Now, knights, of course, sit somewhere in between the two, very much more than a land raider, not quite a Titan. The spirit which sits within a knight empowers ordinary humans to interface with the vast machines of war. It's a critical element of them, so they are not merely inert robotic power suits. They are strange, almost mythical constructions of an era none now remember. Their designs originate from AI, now outlawed universally by mankind. Many patterns of Knight and Titan design undoubtedly lost. Yet the Mechanicum and the Mechanicus have retained the knowledge, or more correctly to say the templates, that enable them to still at least maintain and construct some designs. The Imperial Knights, these ancient machines of war, would be useless though were it not for their human pilots, and they're only capable of interface through what is known as the Throne, or now Throne Mechanicum. The throne seat within Knights and Titans alike enables a neural interface through cranial sockets. These require, of course, careful surgery for its pilot. And it's worth remembering what I noted recently about alternate origins for the Butcher's nails. It's entirely possible that those nightmarish torture instruments originated as neural interface technology. And this enables the noble pilot to feel the knight as if it were an extension of themselves, much like other powered suits. But the knight is a far more advanced and complicated fusion of human and machine. For an untrained and unprepared individual, connection to a machine spirit so powerful would mean, at minimum, immediate seizure, likely brain damage, or worst case, a permanent coma and death, their mind unable to control or hold back the immense power of the machine spirit. For those selected nobles of the knight houses, they will early on have been conditioned, since birth sometimes, and also through their neural surgery with their specially augmented brains to bear the overwhelming neural load. The Throne Mechanicum also store synaptic echoes of those that they were previously bonded to. So what that means is the machine spirit of each knight and titan alike share with their pilot parts of themselves. Now they're known to each other, they share this, and when the pilot dies, a piece of themselves remains as a ghost in the machine, a ghost in the shell, if you will. So noble pilots speak of these whispering voices, visions, strange manifestations that provide them with not trauma or difficulty in piloting, but very often guidance and wisdom in battle. They sometimes might, for example, feel the need to dodge a certain way or make a move toward an enemy, feel a sudden sense of confidence in a decision that is outside of themselves. That is part of the throne bleeding through into themselves. It aids them, it gives them wisdom in battle. The Throne Mechanicum are truly ancient relics of an era of humanity beyond its current comprehension. They're also able to filter out unworthy aspirants who are incapable or unbecoming of a pilot of such a grand machine. And of course, to be rejected by the machine is the highest dishonor and disgrace for not just those individuals, but for the entire noble family. Those individuals likely will become outcasts, and this is where you might see nobles descend to, say, an underhive, either as rogues, outlaws, hunters, or also potentially spirers. For the pilots selected and those who survive for long enough, the throne will begin to further infuse their minds with notions of honor, chivalry, and fealty. When a young noble reaches their 18th year, they must undergo the so-called ritual of becoming. They will be led with great ceremony and solemnity to their house's sanctuary, a vast fortified structure within their ancestral stronghold which contains the Chamber of Echoes. Therein they're connected to one of their house's dormant throne Mechanicum. They'll be left here interfacing with the throne for typically a full night, alone in the silent darkness, with nothing other than the ghosts of their throne pouring into the mind. Neural interface jacks implanted into their skull, digging deeply into the meat of their brain. The young aspirant must quickly learn to overcome and wrestle with the energies of the throne Mechanicum. They must subdue it and imprint their psyche upon it. For all of their training to this point, it is not always a certain outcome. If an individual and their knight house is strong enough, they will emerge successful. But it remains a dangerous undertaking. This process can easily cause madness, or the rejection cause emotional breakdown akin to madness. Others killed outright, discovered the next day as mere dried out husks, pale corpses with their cranial plugs dragging or hanging from their skull, their skin stretched out like dry taut paper over the implant points which still smoulder, their facial features twisted out of recognition into ghastly masks of terror. These are the unfortunate ones who have lost all control, and it remains a reminder that machine spirits are not just passive instrumentation systems. They're active, powerful entities that if you do not take the reins off quickly and confidently, they will take control of your mind and suck your life from you. How does this happen? It's of course beyond the technological comprehension of us or those in M41. Worth just to additionally note that smaller knight frames like the Armiger do not use a throne, but use what's called a helm mechanicum. The principle is largely the same. They use a pilot helmet which doesn't require the full ritual as that of the throne. Consequently, it requires those of still a strong mental discipline, but nothing compared to a knight. So those who pilot Armigers are known as bondsmen. It's still a respectable position, especially on a night world, nothing to be ashamed about, because they are after all still warriors who will fight alongside knight households against the enemies of humanity. But the connection through the Helm Mechanicum is so weak comparatively that some Armigers can even be synced up to a powerful knight and piloted almost remotely. It can vary on some worlds though, where some knight houses will designate special orders for Armiger, and this of course demonstrates to us that not all knight worlds follow a set system of instruction and structural doctrine for how they build their knight households. For those who do survive this test, they emerge forever changed. Their childhood left behind as a distant memory, they are remade anew by bonding with the throne to become some of the most powerful battlefield warriors the Imperium can offer. The mantle of knighthood rests heavy on their shoulders, for they will soon face some of the most bitter enemies of humanity in a galaxy ravaged by endless war. The first Night Worlds were settled during the earliest epoch of human expansion into the stars. When the earliest colonists reached worlds scouted for their potential resources and habitable conditions, they were found not always to be as hospitable as they would have wished. Sometimes atmospheric conditions were dangerous with continual storms. Other worlds saw that the very plant and animal life itself was extremely aggressive and deadly. Some worlds held established alien settlements, none too impressed at suddenly having to share their world, or in other instances to share their system. The earliest colonists would land their ships and then systematically dismantle them, so that they could build around or atop their vast space vessels. This made sense in many cases. Why build a new place to live when you have spent many decades or longer living in a perfectly well-equipped and maintained environment that can continue to exist as a base of operations until new habitation is constructed or expanded? When it came to weathering the conditions of new worlds, their AI STC systems were able to adapt quickly to the environment of a world. This meant constructing and producing specialized hazard suits for dangerous toxic conditions, protective suits that would combat dangerous flora and fauna, and in the case of alien populations, construction of far bigger machines that could defend or assault any threat to the colonists. What remains of these we now know as knights, but in their original form, who knows what they were called. It's possible they also did not hold all of the embellishments that came upon them later. These things seem out of place for a logical, scientifically focused society. The power of the STC ensured colonist survival, and human worlds became, of course, dominant and would lead mankind into its golden age. Those who piloted the giant bipedal war machines, though, began to change over time, their connection to the machines steadily altering their minds. It's hard to know exactly how, in the earliest days or centuries of a colony, why the knight pilots specifically became so powerful. It's possible, of course, speculatively, that they were just held in very high regard as the few defenders of a population, and as such their families began to hold greater power. The pilots of the machines celebrated as victorious defenders, almost maybe a celebrity status. I think we could imagine their machines being individually decorated for each pilot, but this would all change in time, because the more the pilots connected to their machines, it was altering them and their mind. Why this happened again is unknown. It's a testament to the mystery of the machine spirit. Did the STC design this specifically? Was this part of a plan from an STC AI to protect its population by instilling a certain ideological outlook? Who can say? The only thing we do know for sure is that the more they wore their battle suits, the more authoritarian their pilots became. Not just that, but they began to espouse concepts of chivalry, ritual observance, loyalty, and fealty. These machines, these thrones, had altered fundamentally
Time to do my
the
insulin
cultural
shot.
dynamic of the human colonies. So as things progressed,
Midnight.
the machines became knights, and the pilots became the
For
first
12
nobles,
hours.
who would then form the first knight houses. The structure of the way these colonies operated took on an increasingly servile role, a feudal labor
Stabbing
class.
myself
Steadily,
with a
Night Lords
needle.
became ever more conservative and insular. They even started to become isolationist towards other human worlds who wanted to connect with them, rejecting advances in human technology that were slowly sidelined. For the rest of the human
Other
colonies,
people
the
can't
majority
stand
who
getting
had
like
now
one
become
shot
linked
at a
across the
doctor's
galaxy,
office.
these planets of
I
backwards
sit here and
thinking
stab myself
isolationists
with a
became
needle
a source of mockery
4
for the
times a
intellectually,
day.
culturally, and technologically superior majority. Of course, and I think it's worth noting, the success of the Night Worlds happened
And love
largely
tattoos.
by chance. It would of course be their isolationist nature and their
Life is
refusal
strange.
to adopt new technologies that would considerably protect them from the coming apocalypse that devastated the rest of mankind. The contrast to this backward-looking technological rejection were the more advanced human worlds, and especially many of those who had
there's the
embraced
burning and
psychers,
done.
or at least aid emergent psychers to be more comfortable. Unfortunately, what that meant was they would become drowned worlds with warp storms and demonic incursions. Thinking machines also began to carry out genocidal purges, gene wars buried entire star systems beneath writhing tides of abomination. The Night Worlds, essentially through blind luck, were able to weather the Age of Strife far more successfully than most. Of course, they didn't interpret it that way. Their self-reliance and tendency to purge any discovered psychic deviants meant their worlds were well insulated to the worst of the collapse of the Golden Age, and of course they took that as reinforcing their beliefs as being the right choice. And I suppose, arguably, it may well have been, but I don't think we could point to it and say that they had any idea that this was coming. Thousands of years passed, and whilst elsewhere in the galaxy human worlds were cannibalizing themselves, regressing through a war of technology attrition that saw some planets end up with little more than stone and tools, the Night Worlds largely held stable and firm. They maintained their traditions, fought to defend their borders, and waited. When they were rediscovered, their surprising strength and stockpile of military force in the form of knights meant that there was often tension or argumentation between the Imperial Administratum and the Cult Mechanicus to secure their allegiance. And the Night Worlds, of course, were very happy to join the Imperium because it aligned perfectly with their views. This led to the Night Worlds of the Imperium often having different alignments, though, in terms of the Imperial or Mechanicus. And it's why some knights are known as originating from Questor Imperialis or Questor Mechanicus. Now, the Imperialis are aligned with the mainline Imperium, of course. They're pledged essentially to the Emperor. They only interact with the Mechanicus to maintain their knight units. Those who came under the umbrella of
These
what
things
would
have
have
huge
been
magic
Mechanicum,
resist,
now
don't they?
Mechanicus,
Yeah, they
are those
do.
Questor Mechanicus. They still, of course, pledge to serve the Emperor, except it's the Omnisire. They defer to Mars for leadership, as if they were pseudo-Forge Worlds. Some worlds through the millennia have of course been still ravaged by any manner of disaster. This can lead to a night house collapsing or being whittled down to only a few surviving members. Sometimes it's possible these could be appropriated into other houses if there were, say, existing bonds and connections. Otherwise they will become what are known as free blades. These are the equivalent to Ronin, wandering, honourable mercenaries who have no master but still fight toward respectable goals, not renegades or heretics, but they might exhibit strange traits, more risky, aggressive tactics, and so on. Regardless of their world's technical standing, night houses will generally be led by either a feudal world's high monarch or the equivalent of a Forge world princeps, still called a princeps. Interestingly, regardless of if their allegiance is Imperium or Mechanicus, they maintain still this feudal system of rulership that sees a peon-class labourer and serfs supporting a knightly lord, who will defend the working class from all threats. An unchanged system for millennia, almost since its inception, and this is perhaps the reason, arguably, for the Throne Mechanicum's effect on the pilots, to steadily deposit and embed a system that would ensure the worlds continue to be protected. The STC AI perhaps understood humans more than they did themselves, thereby instilling this system of protocols and interminable rituals to be built up over millennia and to ensure their continued defense even after the STC had passed. When the heresy consumed the nascent Imperium, like so many, there were night worlds who turned traitor, both Imperialis and Mechanicum worlds, yet many more were surprisingly shielded from the corruption, seemingly due to the conditioning of their thrones, just as it had protected them throughout the Age of Strife to the threat of innumerable horrors. Night worlds, though, were especially good at rooting out any corrupted or rebellious elements within their populations and would purge them mercilessly without question. In many ways, the night worlds are precursors to the Imperium of M41, not M30. They held principles not entirely dissimilar to, say, Inquisitors and the Ecclesiarchy, which, when you think about it, is pretty interesting. to consider that something
Yay,
designed
one.
by, we presume, an STC AI during the golden age of humanity would end up creating planets which held ideological outlooks and practices akin to the worst decay of M41. There's likely something much deeper to speculate and consider upon there, but maybe not today. After the bloodbath of the heresy, the Night Worlds remained a bastion of strength in holding the Imperium together. They continue to support the Loyalists and Astartes through into M41. They remain unbreakable keystones of Imperial defense throughout the galaxy, all while staying true to the highest ideals of chivalry and honor dictated by the leadership of the Night Houses. Infused to their minds by the Throne Mechanicum, they fit within the Imperium of M41 perhaps more neatly than at any other time, waging defensive and offensive wars of extermination, purging the Xenos and Heretic alike wherever they are to be found. There are a vast number of Imperial Knight houses throughout the galaxy. Some of the most fabled are the likes of House Terran, Cadmus, Griffith, Hawkshroud, Raven, Volker, Tyrannus, and Krast. While Knights may appear to be a staple of the Imperium by M41, they are similarly to Titans still an awe-inspiring spectacle for a human of ordinary status. Because most, even among the Imperial Guard, will have at the most seen the ordinary hardware by the Imperium, standard battle tanks, transports like the Ross, the Valkyrie, maybe some more powerful tanks like the Baneblade, and so on. But to witness a Knight Lance charging across a battlefield as their ion shields sparkle like etheric flame is something many will have never imagined they could, would, or understand to see. It would be something even mid-battle a guardsman would likely take a brief moment to take in visually, perhaps as it could be the last truly spectacular sight they are to see. Also, not least because of the Sacristans, who maintain Imperial Knights. Because, just like the Astartes, Imperial Knights are seen as the most godly, awe-inspiring products of the will of the Omnissiah. As such, the Knight suits themselves are revered beyond estimation. When they return from battle, they're showered in oils, incense lit, litanies of machine worship uttered non-stop, as an army of tech priest Sacristans pour over them, each more eager to clean and maintain and repair any damage to the Knight suit than the last. Sacristan tech priests are trained by Mars to learn everything about the maintenance of this technology. The Sacristan's entire being is devoted to ensuring Knights remain in pristine condition, ready to fight. And despite whatever differences there may be politically between the Imperialis and Mechanicus Knight worlds, assigned Sacristans will spend their lives upon the world they're assigned to serve, and as such they will place a great level of importance upon the heraldry, the house, the ritual of the Knight House. Although just as much as they will do in keeping the power plant operational, the weapons, and its critical machine spirit systems running. A Knight after battle will be lavished with care around the clock until it is in absolutely perfect operating condition, as dictated by the tenets of the revered Code Chivalric, which declares that a Knight must not only be able to fight, but must look suitably magnificent whilst doing so. Hence the enthusiastic detailing crew of Sacristan who will repair even minute superficial damage. Consequently, and obviously very intentionally, a Knight Lance charging across this battlefield looks positively enrapturing, their banners flying high, their polished metal trim gleaming in the system's starlight, bold colours of defiance that declare no fear of an enemy, dissimilarly to the Imperial Astartes. Knights are a force that scream out to be challenged, and that they will not be put down easily. They're an unstoppable force of willpower, steadily entrenched over some 20,000 years, and no pitiful Xenos will stand in their way of defending those that they are sworn to protect. For the Sacristans, though, they are the exact opposite of this bold display of colour and presence, especially true upon Imperialis worlds. Sacristans are typically monastic in their behaviour, humble and wishing to generally keep to themselves. This is not the case though for all Sacristans. In fact, some are so committed that they even follow the Knights into battle, either setting up Knight repair stations between battles or even riding out in armoured crawlers, forgelanders or swift servitor striders to perform battle repairs under fire. Sacristans
That's not a knight. That is a warhound that guy's standing in front of.
House orders. To do otherwise would be offensive, likely more for the machines in their care than the humans who pilot them. So for example, some may wear fine data robes of a Knight House colour and heraldry. Their personal appearance as well may alter from extensive tattooing, complete removal of facial hair, or perhaps faces covered at all times. Some might carry specific icons and symbols worn about them. Appearances are not everything though, and some worlds will still perceive the servants of the Mechanicus more cautiously than others, especially those night worlds which really focus on the feudal rejection of technology. But they are, of course, very happy to keep them contained within specific operational sectors of a world. Their duty is to maintain the night suits, with their access outside this space unnecessary. As noted earlier, night households will be led by the head of a noble family, a high monarch or princeps. It can also be the most senior noble in times of crisis, such as a member of the exalted court or a baron. Unlike the more regular forces of the Imperium, the knights generally act with more autonomy, providing of course they obey the code and their liege. Knights are permitted to fight more like a crusading band of heroes. Of course, if they're involved with an action involving multiple branches of Imperial structure, like say the cordon around Octarius, then they're going to defer to an overall Imperial commander as ordered by their High King monarch. But out in the field, they'll act on their own initiative. The hardware available to a Night House will be fairly standardized by M41, although some Forge Worlds and Imperialist strongholds could contain ancient patterns rarely seen, other STCs for some patterns that have been lost over millennia. Knights, as with all Imperial hardware, are constructed by these ancient, valuable STC pattern, the most common being the standard Questoris Knight, a bipedal, heavily armoured war machine chassis that contains potent machine spirits and a versatile armament mounting. The base structure of Knights are uniform, but they will be designated a classification of Errant, Paladin, Warden, Gallant, Crusader, Preceptor, and others based on their weapon setup, and this will lean in on a pilot's expertise and their strategic strengths. Additional support is offered by the hulking Dominus class engines, while scouting and raiding duties fall to those lighter Armiger class Knights. Knights can often feature specific key upgrades, similar to how Imperial forces can bring specific individual war gear elements for officers or veterans. Same for any Imperial force, the Knights are no exception. So some have access to, for example, special suits for the pilot, an additional carapace studded with sockets and capable of projecting a small additional shield of ion energy to protect the pilot and critical systems. Thus, even if their external shielding is breached or takes fire from multiple directions, this internal shield will prevent the core elements from being decimated. Other specialist items like the Helm Dominus enables a communication boosts between a Knight commander and its armigers. Others, far more simple at face value at least, a banner gifted by Lord Solar Macarius. The noble pilots of Knights have a strong belief in symbolic artifacts, purity seals, scrolls of long-past warriors and the like. So they will truly believe to the core that a banner from someone like Macarius will in some way imbue them with a power, and legend tells none who carried this banner to battle has so far suffered defeat. Then of course finally you come to the truly rare machines of the Sorestus and Acastus frame. These ancient knights are very rarely seen now. They're presumed to be the older patterns of knight and both tower above the Questoris and Dominus class. They generally haven't been seen since the heresy, when they did battle all across the Imperium and the galaxy, fighting titans and heretics alike, their knight households coming to clashes and conflicts rarely seen since. They are massive weapon platforms carrying tools as ancient and rare like the Magna Las Cannon, conversion beams, tactical nuclear mortars, and focus beams like the terrifying Atropos Las Cutter. The faster Sorestus Knights are invariably deployed as first strike units. The ancient war machines, more than capable during the heresy, demonstrated their ability at bringing down titans, getting inside their void shields, bringing them down with brutal melee slaughter, carving them apart with 1,000 cuts. The more powerful weapons of the Acastus carry enough support firepower to rival a Titanic assault and can be used to soften up long-range targets for lances to pierce through. Whilst rarely seen in M41, it's well believed that many Forge Worlds still contain Sorestus and Acastus Knight frames, as well of course as many Knight households. It's just believed that these are kept in storage only to go to battle in the most dire times of crisis. As throughout the Imperium, Night Worlds are no exception in their variability of planetary condition. Some are bleak and desolate, others temperate, some dense with forest and desert and ocean. Those who settled had to contend with such factors, and now by the period of M41, others, like so many hive worlds, are contaminated and irradiated wastelands. Not through the population necessarily abusing the planet, but some, despite their best efforts of defenders, saw the worlds consumed by war. maybe long forgotten or more recently scoured as well by devastating Xenos conflict. No matter what the condition of a night world, the remaining constant is the way in which the world and its systems are governed by their ability.
Really? 3 in a row? Really?
Being a singular individual who themselves holds power over fiefdoms or some equivalent terminology. As in the most ancient times of human history, the nobility will rule over these areas and the peasantry therein beholden to them. Of course, perhaps less like the ancient times of humanity, the knight nobles are duty-bound to protect those of the toiling worker class under their care, and do so with considerable success and enthusiasm, not least because of the addictive qualities of the throne and the power wielded through the most devastating individual suits of war designed by humanity. Because of course, titans are not individual suits of war, they often have entire crews. In terms of the variable structure to which worlds are ruled over by knight households, it's actually surprisingly considerable comparative to imperial worlds of, say, hive cities. Night worlds are by and large relatively secure from the
Wow.
of the galaxy, but still hardly a paradise. Some are governed by repressive, cruel regimes, with the basic sentiments of knightly responsibilities being carried out, but
I've done all
power
5 of them
corrupts,
without
the
them
monarch
becoming
might be
aggressive
either
before. This is
cruel
some
in
dumb
character or
shit.
decadent in their excesses. Other worlds operate more merit-based systems, with nobles receiving more control in governing for their excellent battlefield
1 out of
strategic
5.
and
Fucking
diplomatic acumen.
so
The way in
dumb.
which the upper levels of the Imperium operate tends to bleed down through the rest of the worlds claimed by the Imperium.
I have
That is to
2,000 more
say,
mana
things like
than that
Inquisitors,
fucking mage.
Administratum, and the highest
What kind of level
leadership, such as
70
the
fucking
Lord
mage are
Colony
you?
of the Imperium, Primarch of the Ultramarines. These roles are undoubtedly totalitarian and dystopian. Their will and their demands are obeyed without question. No citizenry or governing body elects them to rule. However, this is not the exclusive case across the sectors and systems of the Imperium, or its worlds throughout the galaxy. There's no enforced rule about how a system or a planet should be governed. And while some system worlds operate what is basically a monarchy, others are very much more aristocratic, with nobility and hive spires taking their authoritarian lead from the upper levels of imperial bureaucratic structure. Most planets such as agri or mining worlds are ruled by a core system world, typically a hive. Ecclesiastical shrine worlds and so on defer to that leadership, as do forge worlds to the Mechanicus. And then you have planets like night worlds, which operate with these noble families, not dissimilar to hive worlds with their aristocratic form of leadership with an elite few controlling the masses. But because of the respect and honour held by the individuals of exalted courts within night houses, you sometimes see regimes where the court of nobles are empowered with an ability to elect their leader, either for life or for a limited reign. Now, to be clear, that's not really democratic, it's still just a variation of the aristocratic elites in control. It is, though, an example of how there's nothing which specifically states how a world or system has to operate. It's plausible, but perhaps not especially feasible, that some worlds within the Imperium do operate under a system of very limited concept democracy, or some kind of Socratic system of empowered intellectuals who are more willing to cede power where necessary. Of course, you also have imperial governors, where the bureaucracy of the Administratum will just say, this guy's in charge, and that's the end of it. But I just think it's important to realise that there are different things going on all across the galaxy, but, you know, they are still an exception rather than the rule. But the point is, the Imperium, as it's termed, does not care how worlds are run for the most part. As a governing entity that sits above the systems of humanity across the galaxy, the Imperium only cares that resources and support material are delivered as necessary, that tithes are adhered to, and that of course allegiance remains strictly to the Emperor, the Imperium bureaucratic, and the Imperial cult. These are the mandatory tenets of the Imperium. So you could end up in this very bizarre situation where you have this totalitarian, authoritarian Imperium above everything else, but then a planet which speculatively could be democratic. It's unlikely to happen, but theoretically it could. One might consider, though, why is it that many worlds of the Imperium lean toward this unelected leadership structure? It's fairly simple in the sense that to do so would require a system of informed population, able to understand and calculate how best to choose their leaders, and of course a willingness and a structure to set that up. And that rarely exists in the Imperium of Man. Nor is there likely any effort for people to wish to do so, and if there were, if people started to talk and dissent and so forth,